Hello everyone, it's Miss Thomas, and today we're going to look at simplifying in scientific notation. So, products and quotients in scientific notation. You want to multiply and divide the non-10 number. Use the rules of exponents to simplify the tens, and then tweak the results. So this is instead of expanding out and doing all that, which you could always fall back on. This is sort of the more concise method for simplifying when you're in scientific notation. So here we have an example. It's 8.8 times 10 to the 8 times 3.5 times 10 to the negative 13. So what I'm going to do is sort of rearrange things. I am going to take my non-10 numbers, my 8.8 times my 3.5. I'm also going to take my 10 to the 8th times my 10 to the negative 13. So when I take 8.8 times 3.5, I will get 30.8. And that's going to be times. And now I'm going to just take my 10 to the 8th times my 10 to the negative 13. And thinking about our rules of exponents, since they have the same base, I can just add up the exponents. So this ends up being 10 to the negative 5. So we're almost there. We're almost in scientific notation, but as you will recall, scientific notation should only have a one-digit number here in front of the decimal. So we need to move this decimal over another spot. So it should be 3.08 times 10. And so this is where it gets tricky. This number is bigger than 1. So typically that will result in a positive number. So that means when I move it over 1, I want to add 1 to the exponent. So that ends up being an exponent of negative 4. And if all else fails, you can always expand it out and figure out what the exponent should be. Here we have an example of division. So similarly, we really only want to worry about dividing the non-10 numbers and then using the rules of exponents for the tens. So we can go right ahead and figure out the 4.625 divided by 1.25, and that equals 3.7. And then we look at just our tens. 10 to the 10 over 10 to the 4th. Remember, this means there's 10 tens on top and 4 on bottom. That means we'll have 6 tens in the end. So we have 3.7 times 10 to the 6. Since this only has that 3 in the ones place, we are all set and we don't need to tweak it at all. This is scientific notation. So this one's a little bit trickier. We've got 8.7 times 10 to the negative 3, and we've got 1.9 times 10 to the 5. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, again, I'm going to focus on these two numbers and then these two numbers. So when I look at the 8.74 and the 1.9, I'm going to go ahead and just divide that. And it will result in 4.6. So then the tens are a little bit trickier. We've got 10 to the negative 3 and 10 to the 5. And I can remember that I can subtract exponents. So negative 3 minus 5 means it's going to result in 10 to the negative 8. Okay, so this will be for you to try. You can go ahead, 2.2 times 10 to the negative 12 times 8 times 10 to the 6. And I'll see you tomorrow.